Welcome. Tonight we're going to talk about the Gibraltar cable systems being installed down Highway 54 here in Cole County. Alan Braun, Captain with the Cole County Fire Protection District.
Adam Bayshore, Lieutenant with the Cole County Fire Protection District.
Also with MoDOT. Tonight we're going to go through the Gibraltar system with you. So here in Cole County, they're going to put a high tension system in. But in Missouri, there are two types of tensioning systems, a high and low tension. So we're going to talk a little bit about both so you understand the pressures with these cables that we're talking about. Missouri's minimum spec on the low tension is 5,000 pounds. So if low spec is 5,000 and they're installing high tension here, suspect it's going to be greater than 5,000 pounds. This is without a vehicle into the cable. Okay? We could see anywhere from 3,000 to 9,000 pounds depending upon what we find in these cables. If something happens to a cable while you're on scene, expect recoil. Use your best judgment when approaching a vehicle in these cables. Anything could be unstable. The cable could come loose, the car, everything. Keep all non-essential personnel away from the cable itself. Methods to release. Can you simply move the vehicle back away from the cable? Can you remove the hairpins and the lock plates either upstream or downstream from where the vehicle is in the cable? Can you push the cable released post over? We'll show you guys all these tonight in some of the videos that are embedded in this PowerPoint. Can we go to the nearest turnbuckle and simply loosen it using a crescent wrench and a screwdriver? Got them listed right on the side of your screen. Can we remove the cables and posts from the posting, pull the posts out of the ground, step on the cables, and pull the vehicle across the cable to get it out of the median? So we'll show you some of that tonight as well. Release the vehicle out of it, and away we go. As a last resort, we will cut cables. MoDOT's always been a proponent of saying, do not cut our cables. There's a lot more to that than just don't cut our cables, folks. So let's take a thought process. If we go out on the highway and we decide to cut the cables and we take a mile section down just to get a car out, we go home, snug up in our bed, and later on tonight there is another crash in the same area. The cables are now ineffective because you cut the cables. If we could have merely taken it off the post, got the cables to the ground, removed the car out of the area in which we were, the cable system would have been intact further upstream and downstream and still been able to be used in the next accidents. Why do I tell you this? Because if you're the person that cuts the cables, who's going to be in front of the judge when somebody gets sued? These are things you have to think about. If you're going to cut the cables, we're going to show you videos of how the cables will react. Sometimes it's violent, sometimes it's not. So we need you to understand what it's going to do before you ever decide to cut a cable. Ensure no one's holding cables, no one is anywhere around the cables. You're the only person near the cable whatsoever. Cut the turnbuckle body possibly instead of the cable. These are all things that we can do. We always want to do this away from where the accident is. You never do it right where all the job is going on. We will do it 200 feet upstream, 200 feet downstream, so the cable in the area of the car relaxes. Simply knock over the cable release posts or cutting the turnbuckles will release the cables. This is what we've been asked to really do by MoDOT. So this is what we're going to stress. This is what we're going to show you videos on tonight. Should these things be released, we need to contact MoDOT. They have to know what we've done and where we've done it so they can get it fixed. If there's any questions about the cable system, here's a 1-800 number from Gibraltar. Here's a quick video of how to handle pushing over your release post.
The intent of this video is to demonstrate to first responders how to release a cable barrier system tension in a safe manner in the situation of a deeply entangled vehicle. On the taping date, we were in Rock County, Wisconsin in the Janesville Fire Department response area where there is approximately 5 miles of Gibraltar cable barrier system. Members of 3 different disciplines were represented during the taping: the Wisconsin State Patrol, Janesville Fire Department, and the Rock County Highway Department. Before we get into the demonstration of the release process, we feel that it is important that we describe to you what the cable barrier system is designed to do. It is designed to capture an errant vehicle and return it to the roadway. It also prevents crossover vehicles from entering opposing traffic. Over 70% of the vehicles drive away after impact with the barrier. Neil Pierce, supervisor at the Rock County Highway Department, will explain this in detail.
For the purpose of this video, we have concentrated on the Gibraltar TL3 model, as we have almost 5 miles of this system in the Janesville Fire Department response area. We have had this system in place for about 3 to 5 years. The system's location is dictated by crash site history and the State of Wisconsin Department of Transportation. The State of Wisconsin owns the cable, but Rock County maintains it. The cable itself is made of 21 strands of 12-gauge galvanized wire that are twisted together. The cable is then pre-stressed at 50,000 psi of tensile strength. There are 3 cables spaced at 20, 25, and 30 inches off of the ground. The cable in its final form weighs about 1 pound per foot. The posts are 11-gauge roll-formed galvanized steel spaced approximately 15 feet apart from each other. They are held upright by an in-ground concrete sleeve about 15 inches in the ground. The posts are designed to either bend over or snap off at the base. In an average hit, 6 posts are affected and will be in need of replacement. The system in Rock County has 6 essential components: the in-ground sleeve, the posts, hairpins, lock plates, cable release posts, and turnbuckles. As mentioned before, the in-ground sleeve holds the posts upright. The posts are staggered in line to effectively hold the cable in place. The hairpin is the component that holds the cable onto each post. The locking plate holds the hairpin in at a uniform height throughout the system. The cable release posts are found at either end of the system, which anchors the cable in place. The turnbuckles are used to splice 2 pieces of cable together and also to connect into the cable release post. This system is very easy to dismantle and put back together. As you can see, you just simply remove the locking plate, and this will allow the hairpin to freely be removed from the post. After several of these have been removed, there will be enough slack in the system that the cables can be positioned down on the ground. This is ideal if emergency responders needed to drive a vehicle through the median, carry a stretcher over the cables, or release a vehicle from the cables. If a vehicle becomes lightly entangled, creating this slack may be enough to remove the vehicle. If not, then we need to release the system at the cable release posts. Obviously, vehicle location will dictate this need. In order to release the pressure at the cable release post, all you need to do is drive any vehicle up to the release post. The yellow marker is flexible and is okay to drive over. A floor mat or fire hose could be used to protect the bumper from scratches. Simply put pressure on the release post to free the turnbuckle ends from the anchor channel. As luck would have it, not all the turnbuckles released during our taping. This was actually a blessing in disguise. If a decision to cut the cable system becomes necessary, it is best to make a cut through the turnbuckle, not the cable. As you can see, a rotary saw with an appropriate blade cuts through the turnbuckle. There is no need to worry of a whip effect, as the cable is held together in very short distances, thus the release of energy is controlled. Regardless of how entangled the vehicle is, the tow vehicle should pull the vehicle in the direction from which it entered the cable. In conclusion, release first, cut the turnbuckles if needed, and only in a life or death situation, cut the cable as a last resort.
So there's a couple things that I want to bring out. They pushed over that holding plate. You could also take a truck with a chain the plate, and then drive the truck alongside of those cables, which will pull that plate inward. You don't have to put something against it and push on it and scratch it. But if you're going to, like they did, they used the sheriff's car. Perfect thing to use. Notice the fraying of the cables and the recoil that it had with the posts intact. Okay, now they've pulled some of the posts out and they're going to cut the cable without posts around. Watch the recoil that's in this cable. Notice how it whipped around the excavator? This is what we're trying to stay away from out in the field. Number one, we would never cut a cable where the extrication process is going on, because if we did and the cable's whipped like that, we would want that 200 feet in either direction. We never cut near the accident scene itself. Adam's going to show us how to put the post pieces together, and then he's going to take it back apart for us. So that's the way you're going to find it, with the cables stuck through it, sitting on the highway.
Release it.
Now your cables are totally gone from the post. You should be able to wiggle the post around and pull it out. Sounds easy. They don't all come out that way. So you might have to do a little bit more finagling to get it out. 2 people possibly to get it up out of the ground. Lay it down, take several out. By the time you do that, you should be able to then take and step on those cables, drive a vehicle across it, do whatever you need to do.
Okay, this is just something quick we made to put over the end anchors to release them. You just pull it off the truck, and of course this will face the side that you're going to try to push to. You slide it over and then pull into it with the truck and it will knock it over. Just keep scratches off the bumper.
Alright guys, thanks for attending our short course tonight about the Gibraltar systems. If you have any questions, Gibraltar's number is there, or contact a MoDOT person in your area. Thanks and have a great day.